Hello, welcome to Fishing Live. Today, I thought we'd do something a little bit different. Spot of waggler fishing. We're here at the lovely Cowgap Farm Fishery, which isn't too far from Stannington near Sheffield, and we're catching some lovely little roach like this. I've had a few skimmers. I've seen some big chub moving as well, so I don't know whether we might latch into one of them a little bit later. Now, before I give you this week's weekly fishing forecast and tell you what to expect if you're heading out on the bank this weekend, I'll just show you my setup because it's dead simple. It's a little short 11-foot Cadence #1 match rod. That just means it's a nice soft rod. Small 3000 size reel loaded with, I think it's 4-pound line on there, so nice light line. And I've just got a little 2-gram insert waggler locked in place by a couple of float stops. So what I actually do is I wrap solder around the base of the waggler, and that just means you don't need to have any locking shot either side here. So there's basically, you look at that waggler, that's all really nice and neat. The alternative would be to have, you know, big shot either side of the float here locking it in place, but they're prone to tangling, so I really like just wrapping a little bit of solder around the base of the waggler and then 2 float stops on the line. And then down the line I've just got 4 number 10 shots spread out down the line and a 12-inch hook length of 09 fluorocarbon with a size 18 Guru F1 pellet hook. And I'm just basically got one bag of white 2-in-1 micros out today. I've kept things really simple. I'm just fishing a single white micro on the hook. I'll just show you that. Giving it a little squeeze just to fill it out there. You can see that. Just bouncing about a bit. Try and hold it still for you. How's that? And all I'm doing is casting about, I don't know, not very far. 15 or 16 metres out into the lake. Sinking the line, it's giving it a little twist just to sink the line because it's just got a little bit of crosswind on it now. And then I'm feeding with a catapult, not too much bait, just sort of 10 or 12 white micros. I'm just firing them in a bit far, so I'll just put a few more this side of the float. I always like to feed, if I can, slightly short of the float, as it gives me somewhere to pull the float back into if I miss a bite. If the float goes under, or in a minute if I don't get a bite, I'll just twitch it or strike, pull the float back into the bait, and hopefully that'll entice another bite. So why is waggler good at this time of year? Well, I'm going to tell you in a minute, as I said, your weekly fishing forecast and all about what you can expect this weekend, but there's a little fish there. The problem is, because the weather's so cold and because we've had so many cold nights, I mean last night the lakes, a lot of the lakes around Sheffield were frozen. This one, because it's on top of a hill, has actually avoided being frozen. But the water temperature, folks, really has never been colder throughout the year. I mean, it's about 3 degrees here today, a little skimmer that time. That's the nice thing, you'll catch all sorts on the waggler. It's really nice tactics for the roach and skimmer. Need to disgorge you on this one. But yeah, because that water's so cold and that water's so clear, what that means is the fish will often back away from bankside disturbance. They'll often push back out into the lake, and what the waggler allows you to do is 2 things. First and foremost, you can get to them. Obviously not everyone's got a long pole, so with a waggler you can cast out a little bit further than pole range if you want to. But also, because that water's clearer, you haven't got the shadow of the pole over the fish's head. So what you can do is present a bait out in the lake without the shadow of a pole. You can still do it with quite nice light tackle. As I said, we're only fishing an 09 hook length, it's a 4-pound line. We've got some strung out shots, so we're giving really nice, delicate presentation out there in the lake. Keep that feed trickling through, very much like I explained when it came to pole fishing. It's about keeping that bait falling through the water all the time. Hopefully I'm going to catch you another one, but while I do it, I'm going to give you your weekly fishing forecast. Now, I'm pleased to say, mate, I've been a bit down in the dumps the last 2 weeks, as you'll know. But next week, things are looking up. It's getting a little bit milder, but most importantly, the nighttime temperatures are increasing. It's looking like 3 and 4 degrees most nights next week. So we're not going to end up with the frosts and the freezing weather that we've had. Friday night, I'm afraid, though, going into this weekend is cold again. It's showing -2 around here. A little bit warmer in the Midlands, but still there's a chance of some ice, there's a chance of some frozen lakes, and it's going to be very, very difficult. So commercial fishing wise, you know, we really are in winter mode now. It's going to be dobbing, maybe. It's going to be fishing at range if it's a bomb and feeder type fishing, to give that a little twitch back. I think there's a fish on there. That happens an awful lot there. If you give it a twitch, sometimes a fish will just grab at it. And I got a really fast bite as I moved it there. And this looks like a great stamp fish. Yeah, another nice little skimmer. So yeah, as I say, we really are in winter mode. It's going to be about dobbing if you're on a commercial where you can reach far bank cover, or if not, you're going to be casting at range with a bomb or a feeder to find out where the carp are sitting out in the lake. The alternative, of course, on a lot of commercial fishing, to do what I'm doing today, target silverfish, because they still feed a lot better than carp at this time of year, and roach and skimmers in particular. If you know where to head for, you're going to have a day's fishing, which is the most important thing. If you're going on the river this weekend, it should be quite nice. We've not had an awful lot of rain through the week, so I would expect there to be some fish caught, to be honest with you. I think the great thing about river fish, they have to feed no matter what the weather, because they're always fighting that current. Although it's not the best for fish like barbel when it's freezing cold, you should get plenty of bites off chub and roach if you know where to head. For small fish, as I always say this time of year, head for your town centres. And likewise on your canal, head for built up areas, because that's more than likely going to be where the fish are going to congregate away from predation, where you can get a few bites. Again, another little bit, oh, there we are. That's another little fish for you, and I think it's a nice fish to end this week's weekly fishing forecast on. As you can see, folks, there's still some great sport to be had. If you can lighten things down, feed little and often, scale everything back, and tactics like the Waggler that allow you to get out into the lake where the fish are living are also really good at this time of year. Have a great weekend, folks. I'll see you on the bank soon.